In 2020, four friends decided to listen to every one of the greatest 500 albums as decided by Rolling Stone magazine. This resulted in a text chain that celebrated the music, excoriated the order, and led us to making this podcast. We are far from experts, and we promise to do almost no research.
Close.
All opinions are our own unless you disagree. I think there's a little delay on the Zoom. There's a little delay. Please sit back and enjoy. Beck did it better. We are all the way up to album 130. And from 1982, it's time to party like it's 1999. Oh, you mean
party like it's 1999?
You mean get busted in my room in Larson drinking amaretto? That's a true story.
Oh.
It's 1999 by Prince.
That's the amateur room because amaretto smells so strong. That's the number one thing. Like, oh, what's that smell? Is someone making almond cookies? No, they're probably drinking amaretto.
Yeah, we're just making almond cookies. No, I got busted with Sam and who else was it? There's two other guys in there. And they all got citations to go to the drinking school or whatever it was. Remember, there's like a drinking school you had to go to. They're like, hey, you shouldn't drink. And it's like, yeah, I know. I drank amarettos. I feel fucking terrible. And I never got one. And Sam was so mad at me. Sam never forgave me for that. He was so mad. He was like, you should just go. And I was like, I'm not going to go to the drinking school. They didn't tell me. I said, I slipped through the cracks. Okay, give me a break. I wouldn't make you go. Anyway, let's get into K-Rob. K-R-O-B. Oh, and I got to point out, okay, we are not in Vegas currently, but I did write this song as if we were. So let's just pretend we're back in Vegas.
Let's pretend we're touching fingers right in the middle of the
My
table.
throat hurts.
We're just here touching fingers. There we go.
By the way, I developed quite a rash after that. All right.
I had one before, so I guess that we must have shared the same rash.
I don't know. It could be any rash, really. I mean, there's a lot of places in Vegas I could have gotten a rash. And speaking of which, let's play this song.
We only went to two places.
Welcome to K-Rob, K-R-O-B. Listen, the boys are in Vegas, and Aaron wanted me to leave this message. We are not going to go to a legal brothel. We are not going to a legal brothel.
What?
So if there's anybody asks, I just want to repeat again, and Aaron wanted me to say this. We are not going to a legal brothel.
Absolutely
Thank you.
not.
We came far from our homes. We're in Vegas for 3 days. And yeah, we're having a blast.
Yes.
Now we have decided to take a few hours and record another podcast.
Yes.
Now we feel real dumb because nobody forced us to record an episode, much less two. Another Saturday night, and here we are trapped inside of Rob's shitty hotel room.
That is true.
So I say, screw this, let's go fast.
Yes.
We don't need to do the podcast. Screw this, let's go fast. Can we at least get this episode over fast?
This is exactly what happened.
When you want
That
to
was it, yes. We were about to do the second one, and we said, no, let's go back.
No, we went on Sunday. We did on Sunday where if you listen to us, we sound like we got fucking hit by a truck in that episode.
Get hit by a truck.
Do you guys think if Joe from Woodbury wasn't with us, would we have plowed through one more, or would we have gone and gambled?
I might have done one more. I don't know. I was in rough shape.
I was ready.
Rough shape. And I can tell you from editing this, thank God we didn't do it there. I'll just tell you that right now. I would kill one of you. All right.
Whoa.
Listen. I've got 3 guys here, okay, who definitely didn't go to a legal brothel. All right. Even though they're right there and you can easily get a limo and it's not even that expensive for the limo. I've got Russell in Minneapolis. Russell, how are you doing?
Good evening. This is your co-host speaking, and you are listening to the Seduction 747. And this episode is fully equipped with anything your body desires.
Yes.
If for any reason there is a loss in Matt's bidet water pressure, Rob will automatically drop down to apply more to activate the flow of excitement.
Excuse me, pilot, my tray table won't go up. It's been this way for about 2 years after my unicycle accident. Matt in Minneapolis, how are you doing, Matt?
Good, Rob. You know, a body like yours ought to be in jail because you're on the verge of being obscene.
Obscene.
Obscene, Rob. Obscene.
And I got Rosie out in California. Now, listen, I've got Rosie, and all I have written here is I've got Aaron, who is not going to a legal brothel tomorrow. So apparently on the plane ride to Vegas, I thought that was a pretty funny joke because I hit it a number of times.
Just want to triple down on that one.
Yep. And so, Aaron, we did not go to legal brothel. I want to be clear on that.
Yep.
Not. Aaron, How are you doing?
The illegal brothel came to us. Wait, what?
Hey, are you a cop? You have to tell me.
I know, Rob, I know you thought I was going to say that I want to fuck the taste out of your mouth, but I'm not going to say that. I'm going to say that I'm glad that you are free. There's many a man who's not. Let's talk about Prince in 1999.
Aaron and I did discuss the brothels when we were out in Vegas, and we came to the decision that the absolute worst part of the brothel, okay, you get in a limo. I assume they have a limo, right? You go out, because you know the brothels are way out and like nowhere.
Who's the guy?
though.
Jamaican John? Jamaican John's the guy that gets you a limo.
He's going to get you a limo. You can go out to the brothels. And then, like, I assume the brothel, like the limo ride, you're hyped. You're with your buddies. You're like, yeah, this is going to be great. And then you're at the brothel. You're like, yeah, this is great. This is literally everything I expected. By far, the worst part would be the ride home. The ride home would be absolutely terrible because you'd have to go get back into that limo, right? And that guy's just been sitting there, maybe for 5 minutes, maybe for 3.5 hours, depending on which one you think is funnier. Okay. And you have to kind of get in and you're like, you're not sweaty, but you're just kind of like red in the face, and you're kind of like super, like you fall asleep on the ride back. Yeah, you're super tired. He's got Gatorades back there, I assume, blue Gatorades. But that would be so awkward sitting with your friends being like, hey, how did it go for you? Like, you'd have to talk about it, but then you'd be like, well, wait, what? The ride back would be the worst. It's like the orgy, right? This putting on the socks at the end, the worst part.
It's the end, right? Yeah, when
Russell,
you gotta get the socks back on.
What do you think the worst part of a brothel would be?
The worst part of the brothel, man, I hadn't really thought about that too much. You might need to come back to me. Go to Matt and Aaron first.
Matt, what do you think?
It happens every time, right?
Yep. No.
All the women lined up, right? And then you pick the one, but then the other ones are still looking at you. When they're looking at you, when you didn't pick them, that's the worst part.
That would be
just the daggers through when you didn't pick them.
That was going
tough.
for the chivalry angle. Yeah, Matt wants to make sure all their feelings are taken care of.
Most people hate getting fucked over at the office, but for them, that's a good day. Hello? Is this guys, we're just having fun.
I would say similar to Matt. I would say it's during the lineup when you're selecting, and the really hot brothel workers won't look you in the eye like they're playing
They're like looking at their calendar. They're like, oh no, I'm busy.
They're trying to slink behind the other ones, like just try to get out of view. Yeah, that's the worst. I hate when that happens.
Puffing their stomachs out.
And the old battle axe Beverly's the only one winking at you, right?
Yeah, that's right. All right, I'll put down this mop. Hands are so strong and calloused. Aaron, what do you think is the worst part of the legal brothel?
And
don't bum us out. Don't bum. No. You have to be funny. No bumming.
The worst part.
He can't think of a single bad part.
It's probably all the people working there who are not sex workers who you have to who
janitorial staff.
Bartenders, bouncers, whatever. All those people who are just looking at you like, really? You're here? This is where you're at? Like, this is what choices led you to this?
There is something about knowing somebody's just about to have sex. Not great, right? It's not a great.
Full disclosure, we did not go to a brothel.
We did not. No, Rob, we did not go.
And I'm not going to edit that later. So it sounds a little bit different.
Hey, Rob, I have another uncomfortable thing about being at is it legal brothel?
Yeah, of course.
I think it's while you're waiting for them to do the parade of options, if you will, and you're sitting there with another guy at the bar waiting, and you've got to make small talk at the legal brothel with a stranger.
What are you doing here?
Yeah, can you believe the Eagles covered? What do you talk about?
Pass me those mixed nuts.
I don't know. I don't want to engage in this, but since you ask, the undressing part has to be awkward, right? There's no that being a business transaction. That's got what do you do? I don't know. I've not been to a brothel. Do you just walk in and then it's you go over here and undress in your little, locker room, and then you go in there with no clothes on, or is it? I don't
Yes,
that's got to be an awkward situation. How do you
hit the sign? Hit the sign on the way in. Greatness of champions. You hit it as you go in the door. Let's go.
I don't know. All of it feels embarrassing.
What about if you walk into the legal brothel and someone's over at the jukebox and they put in Johnny Cash Hurt?
Oh no! Can't be having that song at the brothel. Listen, you guys want to talk about this brothel so much? It's crazy.
I think we can do a whole hour on it.
Someone's over there playing John Prine, Sam Stone. All right, let's see what's going on here.
Hey, why is Patches on this jukebox? That's so weird. Listen, guys, for this Prince episode, I just want to tell you right now.
Do they validate at a legal brothel, Rob? Do you have to pay for parking? How does that work?
Wouldn't that be the worst? You go out the gate at the end and the guy's like, $5. And you're like,
Yeah,
Listen,
they
I don't
totally
have
take
any
a card or something.
Yeah. I don't have
It's
any
gone.
cash on me.
What do they do? Let you go? Do they bill you, or what do they do?
I think the parking is probably free, Russell. If you've seen the HBO show The Cat House, it literally looks like it's in a trailer park in like the middle of nowhere. It's like gravel.
No.
Can you imagine coming back out and you're in the desert and in a gravel parking lot? Like, ugh, got to sit in a hot leather seat.
Other worst part of a legal brothel would be like, when you leave Matt goes to a lot of live sporting events. When you leave a game at the end,
Yeah.
you're sitting there and you're kind of waiting and you're waiting for like people to filter out or traffic to slow down. And you're just sitting there and eventually the usher comes by and says like, hey, you got to get out of here. Like, wouldn't that be one of the worst parts of being at a legal brothel is like the person who comes and ushers you and says, hey, you got to leave now.
You don't have to come home, but you can't come here.
Yes.
That's a good way to go to our voicemail.
Anymore.
I just called to say
So stupid. I can kiss my ass. God, the listeners are dumb shits. They're just the dumbest of the dumb. I forgot about the last part.
Hey boys, giving you a quick call in here. Just wanted to say, Carney, super proud of you on the bidet. Keep going with it, man. Stay strong. There's a lot of doubters out there in the world, but they just don't have faith in themselves. They don't trust themselves enough. Match that up with a good shave, nice and clean. It's going to feel great.
What?
The rest of the world's just, they're just scared, man, so don't worry about it. My question for the rest of you boys, what's holding you back? You stop over at Carney's house, you going to go try it out? And if you do, are you going to tell Carney about it? Or are you going to give a review for everyone else to know? Carney, do you want other people using your bidet freely if you have a party at your house?
Interesting. I hadn't even thought about that.
Do it? Does the wife try it out? Do you let anyone else do it? Do you talk about it?
Okay.
A lot of bidet questions here. Have at it. Let me know.
He seemed really interested if the wife was going to try it out. Okay, so let's relax a little bit, you perverts.
Interested in the bidet.
Hey, the wife try it out? Could she make a voicemail, call the Beck line while she's doing it or whatever? It's like, no, you're a pervert. We're not going to do that. Now, Matt, let me ask you this.
Yeah.
Would you, and then I'm going to ask you guys kind of a similar question. Would you, Matt, would you be upset if you found out one of us came over and used your bidet?
Would I let other people use the bidet? Of course I'd let other people use the bidet if they're comfortable enough to do it. Why not?
What a gentleman.
Because it's something that goes up your asshole. I think that's part of it.
I think Rob might be confused
to be fair,
about how
it doesn't
the bidet
go
actually works.
up your asshole, Rob. You keep talking about like blowing yourself up like a balloon and getting hydrated and stuff like that. Like, to be fair, it doesn't go up your asshole, so you'll be okay.
No offense, but what's the point? Like, that's...
And I don't know if Sarah has tried it. I honestly, I haven't asked.
But
so, like, man, if you were hosting,
she hasn't said she has or not, so I don't know.
Matt, so if you're hosting a poker game, you've got like 8 buddies over, and every guy's just going in there, taking a shit in your bathroom and using the bidet. Everyone walks out. You're like, you talk about it, or how does it go?
It feels like the brothel thing, actually.
Yeah. Well, clearly, I better have. Who can we say who that was? Brian from Woodbury. I mean, clearly we better have him come over because he'd be probably the first one to test it out. I can't believe that he doesn't have one after all that talk. He seemed very excited about it. So I don't know. We need to have one of those crazy Woodbury parties. Those guys, they all get in those neighborhoods and then everybody's on the same teams. And so then all they do is hang out with each other and they never leave Woodbury, and it's Woodbury, Woodbury, Woodbury. And so I think we got to introduce, we should probably send a couple to the Woodbury contingent and just see if we can get this going over there in Woodbury. You're
like Johnny Apple bidet.
I'm 100% trying the bidet, and I don't know when I'm going to be at your house again, Matt. I've never been there, but if I'm ever there, I don't need to take a shit to try it. I mean, I'm going to just get down there.
Stop saying
I'm going to give it a try. Like I'm 100%. I'm trying the bidet, and we did. Yes, we absolutely had the conversation. Like, should we put in a bidet if Matt did it? Like, it seems like a good idea.
Hey, what did your wife think of that, you perverts?
I can easily answer why I don't have one. I do not have like the technical handyman skills to install a bidet. Yeah. I know it's not hard. Right. I don't have the skill, which means I would have to hire the plumber Rob talked about to come over and do it. That's not happening.
Listen, he would love it. It's like the cleanest job he has all day. You guys made that point.
Would you install a bidet in your like if I invited you, would you come over and install it for me if I purchased it?
If the toilet was cleaned beforehand, yes. If the toilet was clean. If I knew that thing had just been cleaned, I would do it.
I didn't even think of that.
You take all you got to do, you take the toilet seat off.
How to clean a toilet.
2 little things down below. You just twirl them down below. Take that off.
Wait,
Nice. Okay, I like
You
this.
shut the water off.
You perverts, listen
Shut
up.
the water off. Unhook the water supply line to the the tank behind it. It's just a lot of screwing, Rob. It's a lot of unscrewing and screwing, and you're good.
It's hard to unscrew a screw.
Okay, well,
unscrew a screw.
So let me just get a show of hands. How many people, if we did go over to Matt's, would try the bidet? On 3. 1, 2, 3. Aaron's the only one who raises his hand. Aaron, that is gross. You do not
100%.
try another man's bidet.
I feel
No
like
way.
you're very confused about what a bidet actually like.
I think you are.
Once again, I don't
You think like the wand, is like inserted? It feels like you feel like there's some sort of like insertion.
What?
right.
Good. I mean, no.
This is not like, would you like share a colonoscopy with Matt? No, but I'm talking like.
Russell, you said no as well. Anything to add that's funny?
I would be too uncomfortable to use a bidet. I don't think I would want one at my house, and I would definitely be too uncomfortable to use it at Matt's.
All right. Yeah, let's get into rolling going. Wait a minute. I got to think of a joke to transition. What's a good joke to transition?
Let's flow into rolling going. We got to clean this up.
Oh, we got to clean this up. Let's get into rolling going. Nice job, Aaron.
It's time to see what everybody.
I'm going to surprise you guys here. I'm actually going to go first today with the rolling going.
Oh, I love it.
I am going to do today. Today is the ultimate challenge. Okay. Now, you probably thought that ice bucket challenge was the ultimate challenge.
Hogan versus
No.
the Warrior, the ultimate challenge.
I am. Yeah, I'm going to put on the armbands. Okay. And I'm going to
shake the ropes.
Yeah, shake the ropes. And then all the other cool things, the ultimate war. I'd run down to the ring and get very tired. Here's the thing. Maybe do some
Heavy
cocaine.
breathing.
Maybe a lot of cocaine, actually.
Probably
Here's the
as
thing.
good a wrestler as he was, technically.
I have installed an electric buzzer, okay, that for the rest of the episode, and this is Prince, if I say anything dirty, I will get shocked.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
What?
Ooh, I have an erection. Oh, that was dirty. It shocked me.
Oh.
Listen, it's the best shocking noise I could find. It's so slow. So just to let you guys
Good
know,
luck.
I'm going to do the ultimate challenge. I'm going to be clean on this episode. Also,
which you know what, Rob, take your headphones off a sec, would you? We
right, we'll do.
gotta talk about this.
Let's talk this through, yeah.
You know, I don't. We haven't officially taken like a poll of this, Russell, and you're kind of the archivist of the show. But every time Rob says we're going to do a clean show, it turns into one of the best episodes ever because we'll stare at him just like this. We'll just stare at him, and then he'll just freak out, and he'll just have to say like "poop, shit, fuck" or something like that. You know, and it instantly turns into a great episode.
I think it was a D'Angelo episode, the first time where Rob declared it would be clean, and then it went off the rails dirty.
Oh, that's right, yeah.
Well, Rosie, you learned something there. Cum gutters. You learned about the cum gutters.
That's right. Yeah, I'm still trying to grow mine. It's not there yet, but I'm trying.
Oh, he's wondering why we're laughing. He thinks we're laughing at him. We're not laughing at him. Rob, come on back.
There have been one or
back,
two
Rob.
episodes too where Rob has wanted to keep it clean, and the three of us took it off the rails dirty as well. So
It
and
does
he didn't
happen.
like those.
It does.
guys, just wait. Somebody, my neighbor's here. Yeah, hello. Yeah, well, if you don't want to party, no, sorry, not the right place. No,
Don't
listen.
bother. Don't bother. Oh,
Yeah.
that's,
All right, I have to tell you guys right now.
listen to your body tonight.
I am. Oh no, dentist. Oh, okay. Okay. So I got to tell you about this, guys. I was going to tell you that my wife and kids are all gone this week. I've been all by myself. They're in Hawaii. Not as interesting as what I wrote on the plane. Now I want to remind you.
Nobody's looking.
I was absolutely baked on this plane. And I wrote detest next to my body. This is a Matt situation. But I was on a plane, so we better.
Now it's time
Flight?
for
This is a plain old story.
Plain old
Was this a Vegas flight or a different flight?
Going out to Vegas, yeah.
All right, these are the stories
That I like.
Tell us about the trip you're on. We're gonna hear about your
Flight tonight.
Oh,
I
yeah.
think I was about right on that one.
You nailed it,
Now-
Russell. That's going to sound great.
Next to me was a couple,
No notes.
kind of a young, and they were very nice, but this young, rich couple, and I knew they're rich because they were sitting in Comfort Plus. And the guy next to me got on the internet, right? And I was like, oh, okay, this will be kind of fun. See what he's doing, kind of a live search history, right? Well, you could tell right away he's a dentist. He's going through patient records. I'm just looking at all these people's patients' records
Sounds
right
like
on
a
the
HIPAA
plane.
violation.
Well, listen, okay. Well, the seats were so small. My HIPAA was violating his airspace all the time.
Is that a buzzer or not? Do we,
in your shoulder, in your elbow, and
who's the arbiter of the buzzer here?
Hey, the other worst part of a legal brothel, the guy sitting next to you at the legal brothel is the dentist who was on the plane ride next to you.
So here's the deal. Is that the guy next to me, he then started working on, he was working on a website. And so the dentist next to me was going on one of those like Getty Images sites where you could buy images, like copyrighted images, you could purchase them.
Yep.
And all he was buying were pictures of teeth. He was finding like tens of pictures of teeth and purchasing them for his website. And I was like, that seems, you should find, like, that doesn't seem right? That he's just pulling images off the internet of teeth for his dentist thing? I was fascinated. I could not look away. Because here's this guy just going page after page after page of teeth. And I was like,
who are the people who are the models for Adobe stock teeth photos, by the way? Like, who the hell are those people?
I can tell you it's not me. My teeth are getting fucking nasty, man. Are you guys, I mean, isn't that the word? Like, my teeth, there's just like spots on them now. And I'm like, I don't know. Like, should I go take care of that? Like, who gives a shit anymore? I don't. It's like, oh yeah, I'll stop drinking coffee. Get out of here. I don't know. Maybe I should get my teeth whitened.
So did you chat up this dentist next to you at all, or did you just kind of peek over at what he was doing every few minutes? Or what am
I going to say? What am I going to say? Nice. Like just like, yeah, I like that one.
You think about that though, right? Like if you were to start a website, I mean, about anything, right? I mean, name it, but just going down the dentist thing, why would you not just take like the best photos you could find for $5 and put them on your, who cares? Who's going to know that it's not some patient of yours or whatever, So how many more websites? I mean, there's got to be a ton.
People will know if he's not cheap enough to buy those Getty images and he's just copying the watermark.
They'll know that. Right? Yeah, they'll know that. But, if he does buy them, then yeah, why not?
I'll tell you what, it's a bad sign. If your dentist is not paying for those Getty images and leaving the watermark on, he's just copying and pasting. Do not.
I mean, I might think it might be a bad sign if he's using Getty Images to find teeth that are actually good enough to put on his website, isn't it? If he can't.
That's a good point. Yeah,
right,
that's a great point.
He's run into enough teeth that he knows.
Right.
He's got some from his own practice that he can
And
use.
maybe he just put the nastiest ass teeth you've ever seen on his website, right? Like and plus, like how many hours of your life do you think you've been on a dental website? 0.1? 0.05? Like I have, almost no time. Like the fact that he's putting more time into that than anybody will ever be on the site itself combined.
That's a good point, man. Like once you get a dentist, you're just like, cool, I'm sticking with the dentist. I don't even know if my dentist has a website. This is a very good point.
Well, I happen to know a dentist, okay, and they're actually very cool and nice.
I thought they were just a dental school graduate.
No, God,
not a
please,
questionable.
Please. Please. This person has been so nice about the podcast recently. We need to be nice to our fans. This person now makes money as well because they have been trained to do Botox. And so they are a dentist who now also, and apparently dentists are doing this like crazy, administering Botox because that's how they really can make a ton of money. So guess what your boy Rob is doing this summer?
Oh no,
getting some of that runoff Botox. Yes, I'm going to look younger, and my face will be much more. Part? My face is going to be much more sittable. Oh no, I forgot about the buzzer.
I think there is way more people than we think. I think it's one of those things
Botox.
That I don't know. I don't. But like some of Sarah's friends, and I would never, say who they are on the air because I don't know if they care or not. But I think there's way more people that just get a little touched up here and there, and because of Botox, I think it's fairly easy, fairly simple, and it's not like you're filling things and you're going to look like Jersey Shore cast, anytime soon. Mm. So I don't know. It feels like it's kind of turning into the new norm, isn't it? What does this dentist of yours say about it? Like besides there's other like headache. There's like more medical reasons to use Botox other than just to keep your forehead from shriveling up, isn't there?
She's under no illusion because 99% of her conversations when she talks to people and tells them she's a dentist, they're like, can you do teeth whitening? Like that's all. People don't give a shit about cavities. They're like, can we do teeth whitening? And she's like, no, your tooth is falling out. They're like, yeah, well, we should get these teeth white as shit.
Can you get it whiter?
But I will say this, this person, close. This person, when they took the class, they had to practice. It was actually like a practical class. And so they brought in their husband This person brought in their husband, and he got shots from his wife into his eyes for Botox. So like the next time I saw him, he was like,
"This is like, bro, for relax. The big D. This is horrible."
I don't know. That's a rough one.
So can anyone? Do you have to have any sort of medical license, or could I go to like a weekend course to be able to do this?
No, Russell, why are you doing this to me?
Botox school, it's like driving a truck. Just like,
I don't know. What makes a dentist more qualified to do that than anyone else?
Yeah. She does injections. Don't do this to me. She's been nice about the podcast.
It's like being I'm a certified forklift driver, right? Well, what does that mean? Well, you work at Menards for 15 minutes and you can drive around, and all of a sudden you're a certified forklift driver.
On Broadway, you could do this.
Listen, when I knew this person,
that's great.
I've known this person for quite a long time, but they said that in dental school, they had to practice giving injections to each other in class. So like, imagine it's you and like Jeb comes over, he's your partner. Chris comes over and is like, okay, it's time for me to practice injecting things in your gum. You're like, what the fuck?
No.
So
hey, I was at a Holiday Plus.
She's practiced.
Holiday Inn Plus last week. Here we go.
God. Can you imagine? It's like, okay, just please, anybody in my grade, I would not let them inject that into me. Well, I'm actually thinking of one person.
So does this person, Rob, actively pitch
I bet you can come up
like,
with 5, Rob.
Like, are people Novocained up and then does she pitch it? Because how would people even know to ask if she does it?
I don't know. I assume there's a brochure up front. That's a great question. Maybe you just ask maybe you ask, hey,
maybe you have to have
Botox?
it on your website. Maybe it's got to be on their website.
Oh my God, right? You're mastering it in a full circle.
Publish.
This would be a great time to move on to the next Rolling Going, but I have one more joke. What if she says to them, hey, I think you could use some Botox. That would be a real bummer to hear from your dentist, wouldn't it? Like, you're not getting a lot of great news from your dentist to start with. And then for them to say, hey, you look old as shit, man. That is a real bummer to hear.
Your teeth are fucked, and also your eyelids are droopy. Can I help you, please? Wait a minute. You were supposed to be looking at my eyelids?
Hey, have you ever wanted somebody to use one of the loudest tools known to man in your mouth for like a half hour? Oh, no? Well, that's what we're going to fucking do. Also, you look old as hell.
Oh.
Aaron, Rolling Going, how's it going with you? Worth it, by the way.
Oh, it's going really good. I have a lot of, I'm really excited. Obviously, as always, I'm excited to talk about Prince tonight. And I'm very excited because for my birthday, my lady purchased me this book called The Beautiful Ones, which is ostensibly a memoir of Prince's that was eventually completed after he passed. Well, I do just I actually want to read a little bit. I want to do a bit of a reading from a section because this is mostly his own writings, lots of photos of him, and then the writer he worked with kind of filled in the gaps.
Aaron, if you're going to read some, you should say, if I may, and then start reading it.
That's a good point.
If I may. This is around the time when 1999 was recorded.
Jesus Christ.
I see New York a little bit more. In my subconscious, I'm influenced by the sinisterness of it, the power. I hear sirens all the time, things like that. It's not like that in Minneapolis. If you ever go there, you'll see it's real laid back, real quiet, and you have to make your own action. I think a lot of warped people come out of there. My friends, I know a lot of warped girls, okay? Warped to me means they see things differently than I would, I suppose. They talk a lot. They talk a lot about nothing. But I mean heavy. They get into it like you wouldn't believe. I mean, we could get into an hour-long conversation about my pants. So he could have an hour-long conversation with ladies about his pants. I wanted to share that with everyone because I'm thinking about that tonight. I'm also thinking about.
Can you imagine? What do you talk about on your pants?
I know. What kind of pants are we talking about, right? These must be like really impressive pants.
Pockets, the cuffs.
He probably had sequins and stuff though, like fringes.
I thought he had assless pants.
Stitching,
assless maybe. Yeah,
the quality of it.
That would be an hour conversation of like, oh, do you like these pants? Hey, let me get up. And he has to get up off the wood seat and you hear like a, right? And he kind of turns around and he's like, they have no ass. It's like, I drove you over in my car. You should have showed me you were wearing assless pants before you sat in my car. I do want to remind everybody that was my Halloween costume in college. And it resulted in a number of very attractive women taking pictures with their hands on my ass. One of the greatest suggestions I ever have. So those of you, we know some people now going to St. Olaf College. I'm sure they're spreading this podcast around like crazy to all their friends. Okay. They're definitely sharing it with people, maybe airdropping it during class.
Oh, yeah.
I heard the lady who writes about the Royals has been passing it along, right?
Oh, yeah. We've got a lot of feedback from her.
We're the second biggest thing in the Royal space after that book by the angry Prince brother, whatever his name is.
You know what the worst part is? Guess what she was on today?
What?
A fucking podcast.
Oh,
like, God damn it, that's like a slap in the face.
That feels personal. It's starting to feel personal.
She's got almost 200,000 Instagram followers.
Oh,
I saw 200,000. That's a lot.
That's like a few more than us.
Yeah,
Guys.
I can't believe she couldn't get to you, Rosie.
We should have done a
Can't
Royals
believe she couldn't
podcast.
get- Yeah.
So I was
Because
excited.
I'll tell you what, that
to-
water field at their field, I love that thing. I assume that's what she covers, right? The Kansas City Royals.
AAA,
Can you
the
imagine?
40 man. She's breaking down the 40 man
She
roster.
actually really enjoys the Kansas City Royals. And then my last thing tonight is I got to go on a date this last weekend. My mom was here. My mom and my stepdad came out, so we got to go on a date. So, yeah, you know it. And at dinner, one of the items on the menu was hamachi crudo. And for me, hamachi crudo it's a must order.
Okay.
If I see hamachi crudo on the menu, I'm ordering it. So I want to know from you
Kinda
guys,
like meatloaf.
what's your must order?
Meatloaf's on the
What,
gotta
man?
order.
What, Rob?
I'm
don't
so sorry.
pretend like you don't know what hamachi crudo is.
I'm so sorry.
I don't know.
Raise your
Don't
hand
do
if you know
this
what
thing.
hamachi crudo is.
Come
I am
on,
not
no,
going to raise your hand.
Rob
Russell,
knows.
you acted like you knew what hamachi crudo is, so please describe to us right now the ingredients in hamachi crudo.
I'll let Aaron describe it.
It's very simple. It's raw fish. It can be prepared any number of ways. Hamachi, I think, is a Pacific fish, kind of like yellowtail or
raw
something.
fish
It's
cut
just
up,
raw
right?
fish. Yeah, it's not that weird. It's just raw fish cut
It
up.
looks almost like salmon, but I don't
This
think
one
it
was
is, but-
served with some citrus. So we had some blood orange and some grapefruit on there. And then this harissa aioli. But anyway,
Ooh,
we got to
love
go
that.
out. But the whole point that I want to know is what's the must, like for me, I mean, it's a few things. It's like shrimp and grits, hamachi crudo, catfish. Any of those are on a menu, I got to order them. What is it for you guys? What's the number one?
Okay,
like,
guys,
if it's
just
on
wait.
there, you're
I
buying it?
can't. That was the craziest list of things that you must order.
That's it, man.
Hamachi
Those are
crudo,
the
shrimp and
things.
grits. Oh man, I'll tell you what it is for me.
I love catfish.
A croque monsieur. If they've got a croque monsieur
yes.
sandwich or croque madame, I gotta see what's going on for me.
I like
There's something about that where I'm like, it's French, it's eggy, it's
Grilled
so
bechamel.
good.
Yes.
Love it.
I'm a pork belly. If I see pork belly, I
Oh,
gotta
yeah.
go pork belly. And no matter what
I knew that about you. I should.
vessel.
I've been gone for more of the comfort food, I think, recently. Like there's a place called, God, what's it called? Lowbrow. Here
Lowbrow
in,
is fantastic. They have the Elvis sandwich.
Oh, here we go.
and they've got fish sticks. And you wouldn't think that like fish sticks, but they like actually make, it's like almost like an appetizer, fish sticks.
Oh,
And
delicious.
it is so good. And so when you find things like fish sticks at a local restaurant, you're like, oh man, what is this? This sounds good. So it's fish sticks, it's Korean skewers, it's like I've said it before, meatloaf. A lot of times if a good restaurant is serving meatloaf, that meatloaf's going to be pretty darn good, if you ask me. So
Agree.
Hello.
I would eat anything for crudo. Guys, this is Meatloaf. How's everybody doing?
Oh, hey, meatloaf. Welcome back. We haven't seen you for a while.
How's life in the afterlife?
I'll tell you what, it's great up here in heaven.
Oh, you
I
made
tell
it.
you,
You made it. That's
this is so great. The only thing is we have a baseball team up here. We have a baseball team. Okay, it's not the Kansas City Royals. Okay, but we have a baseball team up here. But you know what? We can't start the game. We can't start the game. And you know why?
Why?
Because I can't get my bat out of hell. I would do anything for love. Actually, what am I doing? I have this right. I would do anything. Oh, it's not on this computer. For love.
Fantastic.
Just a reminder, guys, one of the most, vaccines are fake, okay? That's when I died from COVID. Russell, don't edit it out this time because you edit it out every time I make this joke. Okay, so no editing this part out. Russell.
Great to hear from you, Meatloaf. How's it rolling going with Matt?
good. I just want to say that I found a number of Botox and dermal filler training courses here in the Twin Cities.
I don't think you need to be. I think you can just take a
for
class.
like
I don't think you need to be a dental
$1,800
student.
And one day you can be certified.
One
And
day.
so it
That's
starts
all
at
it
8
takes.
o'clock. You know, if you by 1 o'clock, you know, from 12:20 to 1 o'clock, that's lunch. But then by 1 o'clock, you are starting your clinical hands-on training. And by 5:45, you're certified. And so they are actively looking for models. So if anybody wants to be a model, you should look at some of these schools. They probably will allow you to get free Botox.
You can spend the
Needles,
same
right?
amount of
People's
time
eyes.
to make $20 reffing an 8-year-old soccer game as it takes to administer Botox, right?
There you go. There you go.
What?
Same
right,
level
let's-
of training.
guys, I think it's time to go to our sponsor real quick. Hey, listen, this week, this episode is sponsored by Beck Did It Better Botox Service. Listen, do you want one of the guys from Beck Did It Better to give you Botox? We're taking the course this weekend. Come on down. Who are you going to pick? Do you want Rob with his giant hands? Do you want Aaron, who's going to be looking at your feet the whole time he's trying to give you Botox? Do you want Russell, who is going to have a bunch of pictures of him at the Botox clinic by himself for some reason? Don't
He's going
understand
to be
that.
blindfolded.
Or do
He's
we
going to
have
do Botox
Matt?
in the dark.
Or do we have... Or do we have Matt, who is giving a lot of Botox to a number of our callers? We already know that for sure. Sorry, rolling going. Okay, so please check that out.
Yeah.
Check out my
that's
website.
that.
Lots of teeth.
I have found that I'm getting sick of my normal radio listening. You know, it's a lot of K-Fan. Vikings are over. The morning show's kind of getting old. I don't know. It's kind of about so a lot more 89.3 recently. And I heard something called Little Sims and a song called Gorilla. And I thought it was unbelievably good. I just sent it over to you, Rob. Yes, put it at 30 seconds. I don't know who Little Sims is, but I've been listening to a lot of Little Sims recently. And so, have you ever heard of Little Sims, Rosie?
I have not. Is she from Doomtree?
I don't know. I think she's British, but I don't know.
Okay.
I know nothing about her.
I'm
But
not familiar, but this is nice.
yeah. And so there's a lot of it like this, and there's a lot of musicality in a lot of other songs. So I would highly recommend a quick spin of Little Sims.
I like this. It's kind of like a cantaloupe type thing. Man, I'm so sorry. I had to edit it out. I opened the wrong window when you told me to get Little Sims. I mean, look at this. Look at this YouTube video. Hey, it's me. I play quarterback for the Giants.
Little Sims?
Oh,
That's
God, I
little
was trying
Phil
so hard not to
Sims.
laugh at that. Oh, no.
That's little Phil Sims.
No.
Oh, sorry about that, man. That's my bad. I liked your Little Sims much
My
better.
favorite part about that for our listeners who can't watch this happening is watching Rob try so hard to let Matt finish what he's talking about, and
He just gets
and let Matt's song play a little bit.
Earlier, I did give
But I
the
got a
timeout
joke.
signal to the whole crowd to tell them to shut up. I had something to say.
Yeah.
That's what I
So
get.
I don't know. I appreciate. We're always trying to get people to call in, but I think if we got a few callers or a few Becksters every once in a while to tell us some of the new music they're listening to. This is a music podcast, right, Rosie?
Wow.
Last time I
Are
checked.
we talking about some music? That sounds fun.
Yeah, so I think I would appreciate that personally because I've like stretching a little bit every once in a while when we can here. So I was back in Vegas. I got back from Vegas today, guys,
Wow.
and I
Welcome back.
had an
Please
experience
welcome
that
back
happened
to Las
to me.
Vegas.
I know it's kind of a long flight. Rob, you couldn't do that like weekly. I don't think you could. I mean, it's 3.5 hours for us, but oof, that's long.
I slept the entire way home on my flight. 5 hours. I was like, I'm going to edit the podcast. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. I slept the entire way and I woke up and I go, oh no. I literally said out loud, oh no, because I was like, I'm exhausted. I'm in big trouble. And I sounded like this.
So I get there, and so it's going for a work event, right? So basically just a dinner, and there's a big conference out there. And so I'm going, I need to get one room at one hotel for a Tuesday night. And so I just need to work. The dinner is at this hotel, the Palms. I don't mind saying it, the Palms. And so I need to get a room there. Well, because there's this convention, everything is so damn expensive. It's like $600 for a room, right? Like everything is booked and it's just a ridiculous price. But it's on
Legal
the company
brothel's
dime.
only $500 a night.
Oh,
Is it?
it's at night. You're going out there at night. I would go out there in the morning, 10 a.m. Start my day right.
So I get the single queen interior, not strip view, whatever you can for $600, right? And so I get the cheapest one. So I go there, I'm walking up and it's, okay, here you go. I booked it 2 weeks ago kind of thing. So I walk up and the lady says, oh, well, we're all out of the room you booked. So we're going to, oh, you got upgraded, she says. And I have no idea what's going on. But, so all of a sudden she goes, well,
is there any better phrase to hear ever than you've been upgraded?
I mean, I can't remember if this has ever happened to me where I've been like upgraded in a hotel room or anything where it's something like that. But so all of a sudden she goes, well, you're going to have to go over to that stair or that one over there. There's the one elevator that goes up to the 34th floor because there's like 35 floors total in this hotel. and you're up on the 34th, so the special elevator, you're going up, that's where you go. And I walk into this room and I FaceTimed all you guys because it was unbelievable. I got like this immaculate, huge penthouse suite that was overlooking Las Vegas and the mountains and everything. And it was unbelievable. Rob, I was trying to picture your condo, and I think it was bigger than your condo.
It was huge.
I bet.
It was unbelievably huge.
Let me ask you this, Matt. Here's a good way to tell. If you had somebody in the kitchen and maybe another person came in the kitchen just to make dinner for the rest of the family, would that first person tell them to get the fuck out of the kitchen because they're making because they're hungry? Get out of my way, I'm hungry. Okay, was it bigger than that? Would somebody? And also, by the way, it's that other person's kitchen too. They also pay the rent. Okay, they should be able to go to the kitchen when they're feeding other people just because you're hungry because you didn't eat because you had to come home and work out instead. Matt, was it that big?
Yeah, it was that big. But like, I don't know if you guys can see my basement, but like the bathroom was bigger than my basement.
Yes.
My whole basement. The shower, there was a couch. There was a couch in between the shower and then like where the vanity is and then where the shitter is. There was a couch. So you could just, if you had to sit down, because the walk was so long. So have you guys ever been upgraded to anything super cool like that? Not like first class for an airline or anything, but like on your honeymoon or anything like that? Have you ever been upgraded?
Well, my honeymoon we spent in our apartment. We didn't actually go anywhere. That's not a lie. That's what we did.
It wasn't technically an upgrade, but I've had a lot of nice hotel rooms through conferences and stuff like that. Conferences that our company goes to or that we get sent to. And I actually went to a conference in Dallas a few years ago, and the hotel where it was at was booked or whatever. So our marketing person or whoever put me in the other hotel. And I got there and they're like, oh, we have you in whatever suite on this level, whatever. And I didn't think anything of it. So I go upstairs and I walk in. It's a 2-level hotel room with a spiral staircase.
Oh, wow. So literally, staircase go.
Literally, it's like a 3 to 4 bedroom hotel room with a spiral staircase. It's like, what do you do? It's not like you're having a party. What are you supposed to do with it? What'd you do with yours, Matt?
Oh, no. Can I tell you what you need to do with a spiral staircase hotel?
What's that?
You need to get your friends and coworkers there. And then, Russell, you dress as elegantly as you possibly can. And you walk down those spiral staircase. And when they see how gorgeous you are, it's going to change the whole movie. They're actually happy they took you to prom. Okay, you weren't just the nerd in class. You're good looking.
Yeah, like you really should look really like a mess beforehand. Like glasses, hair messed up,
glasses
clothes don't match.
Yuck.
Okay, so what I would do, and no, I didn't have, it was like I was going to be there for one night. I had to go to dinner, and I was going to play a little blackjack and go to bed, and that was it. Like nothing. So it was a complete waste, absolute waste.
Right?
Yeah, did you do room service up there or anything? Or like
nothing. No, we went to there's a steakhouse. Right? There's a steakhouse in the that we were going to in the Palms. That's the only reason I was there is because our dinner was at the steakhouse in the Palms, and so it was like the 2022 steakhouse of the year in Las Vegas or whatever. So it was a great steakhouse, but no, like I did nothing. And then again, this is gonna have to get cut out. So Russell, this can be my part that gets cut out. Okay,
where did you jack off there?
Oh no,
all over the place. No,
you'd have to get on that table.
No, so then after. I'm there by myself. I got no other coworkers or anything else going on. And so I'm playing blackjack and I am fucking killing it. I am killing it on the blackjack table. I'm up like $500 and then I'm up not 500, then I'm up $500 and all of a sudden it's 4:30 in the morning and I'm up $500.
What?
And I've got my alarm set for 7:55 to wake up. So I went up. I was in that room for a half hour.
Oh,
all right, we got to find.
Did you ever even make it in the bed or anything?
Unbelievable.
Hold on, we can't tell Sarah how much I made. So you're going to have to cut out, Rob, you're going to have to ding out all those amount of money that I win, okay? Just honk them out.
Just say a number right now that you would tell her. Just say that number out loud and I'll edit it. I'll edit it in.
$500. It was like it was up like $500.
Wow.
Right? And so
wait.
So
yeah, okay.
I was up like $500. It was 4:30 in the morning, and I'm like, I have to go to bed. Like I have to at least. And so I went up to the room for a half hour. I took a shower after being on the plane. I got dressed, did my dinner and everything. I had a little bit of like cocktail hour before that. And then I went and played blackjack and I didn't get back to the room till 4:30. And so I was literally in the room for like a 3-hour period total in that whole room. And it was a complete waste. And it wasn't even like I could like call anybody like, hey, drive for a couple hours and come, we'll hang out in this place or something like that. It's in the middle of the desert. I couldn't do anything. So I completely wasted an awesome upgrade in Vegas. And now I hope I never go back for another year because man, is that place just drain you. So,
did you call your kids and show them the room? Did they care? Were they excited?
I called everybody.
Yeah.
I called,
by the way,
everybody.
When you FaceTime the entire group of your quote unquote friends, who picked up that call almost immediately?
There was only one, Rob. There was only one. It was you.
Oh,
you know, a group FaceTime. I'm like, boom, I'm there, baby. Let's talk. Let's do it.
Yeah.
How do I mute everybody else?
And then Manny got on the second time, and 1420 got on the second time as well. So I got to show 1420. So that's my rolling going. Russell rolling going. How's it going
I didn't get to talk about my upgrade I had.
Oh,
one time I got upgraded a hotel room and I went in and they said, "Oh, this is the bug room. There's tons of dead bugs everywhere." And I was like, "Well, that's
kind of getting kicked in the balls on that one.
Yeah,
man.
Okay, sorry, worth it."
I was going to say before my rolling going, what about going to a legal brothel and you go really early, like you mentioned earlier, Rob? And you have to wait for them to open the doors. Like it's like when you go to a store too early and they're not open yet. Like you're out knocking on the door and they have to come out and say, "Hey, we don't open till 10 a.m."
I picture them all coming in and unlocking it and like walking by you and you're like, "Hey, what?"
Yes.
Or what?
And at 10 a.m. they're usually fully staffed too, right? They don't have like the C squad that's just filling in waiting for the busy times.
Yes,
the C squad.
The C squad.
You know what? I'm going to say that's actually a respectful way to talk about them. So thank you for doing that. Okay. Because in Spanish, that would be the yes squad. So that's something.
I didn't talk about my upgrade. I didn't want to bring this up, but we did. Our date this weekend was an overnight date. So we did get upgraded because we told them it was for our anniversary. So we could
you
see,
lie or telling the truth?
I mean, we haven't been out for 5 years, so it's got to be for an anniversary.
My gosh.
So we could see the Golden Gate right out our window when we woke up on Sunday morning. It was beautiful. So we did. I didn't want to bring it up because of the jokes, but that's my most recent upgrade experience.
Rolling going, Russell, how's it going with you?
It's going very well. I think I sent you guys a few pictures of this. You guys know I'm an amateur bartender on the show. I always try to make cocktails on the show. This last weekend, I went to a cocktail class so I could become a professional bartender.
Ooh,
so I went
this
to
is an actual class to do it? Or?
An actual cocktail class at the Norseman Distillery. It's a distillery in Northeast Minneapolis, and they do cocktail classes. And they have two different types, a level 1 for beginners or a level 2 for advanced. So of course I signed up for level 2, the deluxe
advanced. They're
Have you guys ever done?
I'll
I'll tell you more about it, but I'm curious. I know we'll get to Rob in a second, but Aaron, Matt, have you guys ever done like a bartending class, a cocktail class like that or anything?
I have not.
I have not, and I should, because I go out to these work dinners and I know nothing about anything. Everybody's like, "Oh, what kind of cocktails?" I just go with an old fashioned, right? And then they always ask, "Well, what kind of bourbon?" I have no idea. Whatever, just give me whatever, right? And I should know more about what goes into these things. I think we've talked about. I'll tell you briefly. I didn't know half the drinks that are out there until Sarah and I were at an all inclusive down in Mexico. And then it rained one day. And so the way we got through it is all inclusive. We just started ordering we looked up like the top 10 drinks, classic drinks of all time, a Manhattan, a Gimlet, a Cosmo, all that. And that's how I finally figured out that I like old fashions. That's how Sarah figured out she likes Gimlets and things like that. So I know nothing about it, Russell. So this sounds like an awesome experience.
How about you, Aaron? Have you ever taken a class like that? I know you've been sat at the bar plenty of times and had your share of cocktails, but have you ever taken a class like that?
Yeah, I've been more self-taught. I've done a lot of observation type
YouTubing,
a lot of field research,
research,
but I've not done any actual classes.
And Rob, you were a bartender, or I don't know if you ever worked this one, but you went to the bartending school back in the day, didn't you?
Yeah, Greta and I did go to the Minnesota School of Bartending, and we graduated, and we learned the hard way that in the ad, on the TV ad for the Minnesota School of Bartending, when they show somebody flipping around the bottles, that is approximately 0% of the class. They did not show us how to do flair bartending, which was the only reason we went. We got fucking ripped off. Greta, it was fun, but we got ripped off. We talked about it all the time. Every class would be like, I bet the next one is the flip of the bottle. We'd get there and they'd be like, okay, well, we can't have alcohol here, so we're going to have various liquids of different colors. So you're going to mix them. So you don't even get to drink at the School of Bartending.
No.
The biggest thing I remember is they were like, you need to use a scoop in the ice. And I was like, well, I can't do this. Like, a scoop in the ice are not easy.
A scoop in the ice is not easy. I learned that this weekend.
I was like, I'm just going to put the cup in. You know it. I know it. We all know it. I'm just putting the cup in. But I will say I have done a number of bartending classes on cruises. The Disney cruise has a great, they would have like a bartending tasting class where it's like tequila, mezcal, whatever the Brazilian one is, Capivara or whatever. And they would make 4 of the strongest drinks. And so by the time the boat was every time the boat would be leaving port and we would just be fucking blasted out of our brains. We would be so drunk that the boat would move. And I'd always go, hey, is that the boat or is it me? And then a big laugh every class. It was a great one. And then we'd go pick up our kids from daycare. The classic drunk parents picking up the kids. Hey, you guys want to see way off the edge of the boat? By the way, a huge fear of Jenny's is that I would push her off the boat. She will not go to the edge of a cruise ship with me because she is convinced that I will shove her off the side.
But everything's fine.
And I said, look, no, I've already checked. There's so many cameras. I would never do that. Where there's cameras.
Or at least during the daytime.
Yeah, never.
So anyways, I go to the Norseman Distillery. They do, I think, a couple of them. I think they do them like Thursdays, Saturdays. Anyone locally should check it out. It's super cool. But so you get there and it was like the perfect size. So it was 6 total people, 4 people I didn't know. And then me and an aspiring bartender, we'll call this person.
Oh, nice.
So we get there and it's a small group. They've got one of their bartenders.
Did you meet this person there or did you ride together?
Actually, Aaron, you will appreciate this.
Do you have any photo proof of both of you being there at the same time?
I actually got an aspiring bartender this gift as a Christmas gift. It was something we could go do together. And I actually, when I purchased this gift, I actually got the certificate and I printed it out. So there was proof that there was actually something there.
You had purchased it ahead of time.
There's so many married people gifts where it's a piece of printer paper folded up and you're like, I shouldn't have folded it. It doesn't look as good when it's folded. Oh, wow. Another gift certificate. Wow. Thanks.
So we get there and they've got all these stations set up where you've got like 4 types of booze. You got you've got bitters, lime juice, lemon juice. You've got a couple mixers. You've got all your tools. You've got your shaker, the big tall spoon. I don't know what you call the big tall spoon, but the mixing spoon. You got the jigger where you can pour stuff in. It was really cool, great setup. And the bartender was there. And so you had 2 hours and they were going to walk you through how to make 4 different drinks. So the first round is a gin sour. It was one of my favorite drinks. They showed you ways to put bitters on the top of it to kind of make a pattern or whatever on the top of the drink, which was really cool. Second round was a Manhattan, which was really fun. And then they also smoked the glass for you. So they put smoke in the glass and then you put your drink in. It was very, very awesome.
Ooh.
Here's the key to a great cocktail class though. There's an intermission. You can only drink so many of these drinks, right?
You got to pace yourself, right?
You got to pace yourself. Halfway through, they're like, okay, we're going to take a break. They bring out the charcuterie boards.
Oh, wow.
Oh, boy.
Oh,
you
my
were
God.
in good hands.
Isn't that great?
You're only a couple S's away from a great summer.
For your charcuterie board enthusiast, did you take a picture and send it to that person?
I believe there are pictures of me. There are pictures of the charcuterie board, yes.
I think Matt's trying to figure out if the charcuterie board enthusiast is the same as the aspiring bartender. Matt's trying to do some sleuthing there.
That's
getting
so
weird.
Personal, but
No, I didn't. I wasn't trying.
We're not sure.
Rosie, I was not trying to get personal. I was just wondering, that he's been to a charcuterie board. He's got an enthusiast in his Rolodex, and I thought maybe that person would want to see a picture of his charcuterie board.
Agree.
So
let me be clear. Russell fucks a ton of women.
Oh no!
It was worth it.
it doesn't mean anything. I met her at a legal brothel.
Oh,
So then we come back for the third round, and this is where it gets interesting. Our bartender says, well, I could teach you how to make 3 cocktails or 4 today. What would you like? And of course, we say 4. What do you think we're going to say?
You got to go one more, right? If 3 is good, 4 is better.
So we get the round 3 is a Mai Tai. And I've actually made one of those on the podcast before. But I think I screwed it up last time because, I just dump a bunch of shit in there and I didn't use the right type of syrup. Is it Orgeat syrup? Or I don't know how to pronounce it.
No, wait a minute.
But it's a syrup that's got like an almond flavor. And that's what I didn't use last time. And it tasted completely different.
Did they tell you that Mai Tai was invented at Trader Vic's in Emeryville, California?
No, they didn't.
They didn't? Oh, that's bullshit.
Now, Russell, let me ask you, did you turn to this drink enthusiast you're next to and say, hey, we should make this an R-tie. Will you marry me? We should R-tie the knot. Mai Tai the knot. Wait. R-tie the knot. I'm going to edit that in, so it's just R-tie the knot. Thank you.
Well, now I'll get to have a fun discussion in a few weeks, but
hey, listen, it's so far out. You got a lot of time to propose for real.
And then the last drink, they show us a martini. And so he says, we're doing a martini, but he stirs his martini. He doesn't shake. So do you guys, if you get a martini, is it shaken or stirred?
You got to order it shaken, right? You can't. I mean, come on. You got to say martini shaken. You don't even have to say not stirred. Just you got to order it that way.
You don't tell the bartender how to make your drink. You order a martini and let them make it.
You coward.
I don't know if I've ever had a martini. Ever.
Oh, I can tell you if that's your fourth drink, you're fucked. Because what was that famous quote about martinis? It's like they're just like boobs.
Yeah.
One's nice.
2 is good.
2 is perfect. 3 is too many. 4 is the best, I think, was the end of that.
We went for a hike and then I had a martini after that. And then it was like, oh, it's 5 p.m. I guess we better eat dinner because I'm going to pass out.
Yeah. That was your fourth drink? That would kill me.
Any bitters in the martini, Russell?
I don't recall that part, Aaron. After the fourth drink and it being a martini. And then the worst part about going to a class like this, after the class, you can't just leave, right? Like you're not going to get in the Uber and leave. You got to stay and have another cocktail at the bar, right?
Yeah, of course.
Absolutely.
Right.
So I don't technically remember if there were bitters in the martini.
At some point, you switch to a beer. So. Like, what do you do for your wipe up for your cleanup cocktail?
Oh no, Aaron! They had a drink called the Aurora Borealis, where they brought out three kind of little. I don't know what you call them, tall shot glasses with 3 color booze. Oh. They would pour one in, and when it touched the ice, it would go from like red to blue. Oh, yeah. And then they'd pour the next one in, and it would go from like blue to purple. And so every time they would pour something in, it would keep changing colors. So either that or that was my impression of it after the 4 cocktails we had. So, but it was super fun. I would highly recommend doing a cocktail class or something where it's hands-on, where you get to actually make stuff. There's a lot of those types of classes where you just go in and they talk to you and you drink stuff, but you don't get to actually make it. Norseman Distillery was fantastic. I'd highly recommend it.
Just hold up your drink and let us all take a look. Just tell all the fans what news we're thinking.
And in honor of that, as you see, I've got my mixture here. Oh, and something's going into it.
Well, we're not quite done with rolling going yet. So let's just spread this out a little bit. We're only at an hour and 8 minutes right now. Is everybody done? Oh no, Russell, you're so good at shaking with that right hand. I don't get what it is. It's so you're so good at that.
Nobody's favorite part of the show.
Nobody's favorite?
Oh,
yeah, let's talk about some music.
Russell, if I was dating you, I'd definitely want to shake it after seeing you do that. I was talking about you jacking me off. It's worth it though. I thought of another funny car back from the brothel joke, but I'm not going to do it. All right. So listen, this album is coming out at 1999 by Prince. It is coming, if you're still with us, is coming out 1982. So this is confusing. This is a little confusing. If you were on an airplane trying to figure this out. So 1999 comes out in 1982. A brilliant move, by the way, naming it after a year. I mean, it's great. And this is his first top 10 album. And this is, just to let you know, this is 2 years prior to Purple Rain. And this is his first album with The Revolution. I believe this is his, what is it, like his fourth album, fifth album?
4, so For You,
fifth
Dirty Mind, Controversy, then this one.
So fifth, but first with The Revolution. And you can really hear that. I think you can hear that Revolution sound in here of like it's a tight sound and the vocals with the backup singers. I just love it. Then this is his first top 10 album, and it's synth and machine heavy arrangements. And this was kind of what people think is the beginning of that Minneapolis sound that we heard so much in the mid 80s, R&B and pop, We've heard it so far with Janet Jackson. We've heard it so far with Prince earlier. Is there anybody else, Aaron, that I'm missing?
That we've heard?
Yeah.
No, I would say of the folks we've heard, you pretty much got it.
And what's funny about this is a lot of this album is kind of a funk album, like a classic Prince funk album. But the songs that really got popular off this were more kind of rock on the rock side, right? Like a Little Red Corvette. I don't think you could say that's like a funk song.
That wouldn't be funk, no.
And so that is 1999. I say, let's get into it. Now, again, this came out in 1982, but it's 1999. So again, so for some people, maybe even tonight, that could be confusing to them. This song charted in 3 different decades.
Well, I like this song, but as a person who graduated high school in 1999, I got real sick of listening to it.
Oh, really? Okay, I get it.
I bet.
And as a Minnesotan, right? Like I because I didn't grow up there, like I actually didn't really get the Prince thing when I first moved there. I was like, oh well, I love Prince, he's cool. And like people from Minnesota are like, no, like he's ours. Like you don't understand. So as a Minnesotan, you guys have talked before about how sometimes Purple Rain, wears on you. Like I get it, but I don't know, it's still classic.
The first 3 songs of this album are the funkiest, the best start, I think, to any album we've had.
Right? Like you start with these 3 songs, like where do you go?
Show me an album that's had a better first 3 songs. I mean, this blows everything out of the water. And so you guys didn't respond to my charted in 3 decades. I thought maybe you'd ask a question about that. It did in 82. When did it chart next? You want to guess?
99.
99. And then it charted again?
2000.
When he died?
When he passed away. And Aaron, you were reading the book, you were reading the autobiography. I'm assuming it's one of the last pages. What did he pass away from? Where he's like, well, time to go.
I mean, we think it was from a fentanyl overdose, I think, right? And he passed away in 2016.
That sounds like kind of.
Oh, no.
I think it might have been Mommy's milk. I'm not sure.
Once again. Offensive.
Rob, don't.
But this first song is funk. And the funk was, I mean, I'm reading this book, like funk really is what he grew up listening to, and then at the end of his life, it's what he was obsessed with. He would talk about, I need to understand the funk. The funk is about the space between the notes. It really got into his brain, even as he was able to experiment with, as we're going to hear in this album, many other styles.
Now, normally this podcast has a 1 fill limit, okay? We have already talked about 1 fill. I would never talk about another fill. But another number of people pointed out that 1999 sounds an awful lot like a little song by Phil Collins.
Really? What's our other Phil?
Phil Sims.
Whoa. Oh, yeah.
Aaron, name that song.
Susu Studio.
And can you tell me, and I know what it means, what the fuck does Susu Studio mean?
I do not know. I do not know what Susu Studio means.
Which song came first?
So a number of people pointed out that the Prince song came out way before Susu Studio, and they accused Phil Collins of copying it, to which he replied in quote, I probably did. I listened to that album a ton when I was on tour. And I was like, oh, damn, Phil. You're just saying, yeah,
probably. Just own it, right?
Yeah. He's like, it does sound a lot like that.
There's actually another artist that listened to this album a lot in 1999 a lot. It was actually Beck. I think if you guys remember a while back, remember after Prince died of the mommy's milk, as Rob would put it. Remember the first person recorded in Paisley Park again was Beck. Do you guys remember when I told you that?
Yes,
when we
absolutely.
talked sign of the times, sign of the pickup lines.
Pickup lines, yes, exactly.
Yes.
But he actually, when he recorded at Paisley Park, one of the songs he played was 1999. Check this out.
And yeah, there's not enough space between the notes. It's not fun.
So you know what? I was never going to try to claim that Beck did it better than Prince when it comes to playing music, but there is something else that's really interesting. You guys know that when Beck won the Grammy for Best Album, who was the person who presented him with that award?
Was that when Prince was wearing the orange?
Check this out.
Is that when he was wearing the orange suit?
Yes. He was wearing the orange suit.
And the winner is Morning Phase, Beck.
That was Prince awarding Beck. And Beck was actually, you get to see the video, and he comes up and he actually gives Prince a hug. And afterwards, Beck did this whole thing where he was talking about how he thinks he made a huge mistake, that he should have never done that. Like, that's not Prince's thing. And he felt horrible about it. And then he went back and looked, and he saw Prince had a smile when he gave him a hug. So When it comes to winning,
Aaron.
best Grammy that are presented by Prince, who did it better?
Beck did it better. By the way, for all the listeners out there who care, Aaron and I did give each other a massive hug.
Big hug.
In the sports book. It was a massive hug.
Good. It felt good.
I think it gave me
I was
a
nervous
rash.
about it. I don't know how you felt. I felt nervous. Like, it felt like there was a lot of build up to it.
It was a lot of build up. Okay.
But I think we did a good job.
We had been edging that hug for a long time.
Yeah. I think we did nice.
Russell, you think this is the greatest rock and roll song of all time? Right? Haven't you said that?
No, I'm a Raspberry Beret guy.
Oh, shit. It's the wrong song. I got it so built up. I thought you loved this one. So I got to say the Wikipedia descriptions of these songs, go read them. They are hilarious. Prince, using several automobile metaphors, recalls a one-night stand with a beautiful, promiscuous woman. This is his first song in the top 10. It came all the way up to number 6. And it made me remember a skill that I realize I have. I can take any car part and I can tell you if it's masculine or feminine. You know how like some languages it's masculine or feminine? I can do that right now. You give me a car part and I'll tell you, is that car part, any part of the car, is it masculine or feminine? And I'm going to give you an example. The gas pedal, masculine. It's
Brake
masculine.
pedal.
Brake pedal, feminine.
Axle.
Oh, masculine. So masculine. I mean, think about it.
Strut.
It's a guy part. Strut. What's a strut? What exactly? I'm picturing a spring, but that's the shock.
Catalytic converter.
How
the
about
caliper is feminine like crazy, man. You know that's true. And you know every one of these is true, by the way.
How about a car phone in Russell's white Ford Thunderbird?
Oh, that is one of the most masculine things I've ever heard in my entire life.
What's the steering wheel?
Oh, feminine. Come on. That's not even a challenge.
What's a shifter?
No. Let me think. You might as well ask me what the cigarette lighter is. I mean, come on. Actually, the cigarette lighter is 2 if you think about it. One part is masculine, one part's feminine. Yeah.
How about a cassette player?
Feminine. The nozzle for where you put the gas.
Dude,
masculine.
you're ready to start writing Prince songs. You got it. You got it down.
What about the exhaust?
The exhaust? The exhaust pipe?
It's both. It's both.
The pipe is both, actually.
It's both,
the pipe is. The pipe is both. We don't want to discriminate. The pipe is a
What about the rear view mirror?
masculine. See? It works.
You're correct on all of them, I believe.
The next song
you nailed it.
They think 100%. One of the big reasons this song became so popular is that DJs would often take this as like a urinating break and play these 3 songs right in a row. Delirious.
The drum programming on this one is like, I don't think the drum machine was actually supposed to be able to do what he's doing. Like, I think he even had to break it to do this.
Only Prince could take this synth noise and make it into a cool song. If you heard this synth noise anywhere else, you'd be like, fuck this shit. And then all of a sudden, listen to this. You're like, I don't know.
Do you think every Nintendo game in the mid 80s stole this for whatever? This sounds like video game music to me.
It does.
Right? Like the hell of Tecmo Bowl and Super Bowl and all those games didn't steal music straight from this. Right?
I think Tecmo Bowl. I think you're right on with the Tecmo Bowl.
I don't know if it's Tecmo Bowl, but I heard video games throughout this whole album. There's no way it wasn't inspired by this stuff.
Dude, that's a Tecmo Bowl noise.
Yeah. Yeah,
this makes me want to run through a wall.
So, right.
Get fired up.
When Anil Dash, who I think is like a tech mogul, I don't know, but he was on the Heat Rocks podcast talking about this album. And he said my favorite quote about Prince, because he's talking about how Delirious was basically Prince doing a rockabilly song just because he could. And it was Prince could do You Better Than You. Like, Prince decided, like, I'm going to make a rockabilly song because that's what's on the radio right now. And then he did it better than, the Stray Cats or whoever. Like, that was my favorite Prince quote.
I think the Edge was about to step in and be like, careful there.
Did the guys
Are you talking about Mike?
Oh, no.
Did the guys from Heat Rocks, Aaron, talk at all about how Prince performed with the Muppets numerous times?
I don't know if he did.
Christ.
That's a good question. There's a great video he did with Starfish and Coffee with the Muppets.
I saw that one, Aaron. I actually saw another one where he walked in, he was on the Muppet Show, and they were singing Delirious. Check this out. You guys will love this.
Is this with Dr. Teeth?
We get delirious.
Yes.
Oh, this is a good Muppet song.
Let it go for a minute, Rob.
Hey, wait, fellas, what are y'all doing?
We're doing Delirious, man.
Yeah,
I mean, we're your biggest fans.
Let's go crazy.
Yes.
Wow.
Isn't this badass?
Oh, fantastic.
I'm telling you, everyone's life will be more fun if you have more Muppets and more Dr. Teeth and the Electric Mayhem.
I can't believe he didn't do International Lover with them. That is so weird.
It's funny, Rob. We can pull it up afterwards. It'll take too much time now, but in that scene where he comes in and he plays Delirious, he starts talking with the Muppets and he starts talking about how he's not wearing that type of clothes that he was wearing in the early 80s anymore. And one of the Muppets turns around and he's wearing the assless chaps. Yes. And he's like, so shouldn't be wearing these anymore?
Oh my God. You just stole he stole the bit from me that I was about to do about it.
It looked like two little eggs, right?
It truly did. Shit. I had a joke about that. It was something about, oh yeah. Hey, Oscar the Grouch masturbating with a magazine. There's something there. There's something there. Hey, Miss Piggy, did you see Prince's ass in those pants? Okay. Another great impression by Rob. Available on Fiverr for hire. Any impression you want.
That song Delirious is great. When I listened to that numerous times, I started thinking maybe this gives Raspberry a Beret a run for its money in my mind. I love it.
I'll tell you what, I'm going to tell you right now, this was my sneaky beat of the week.
This
was Delirious.
Is my sneaky beat.
It was so good.
Week.
Yeah, it's great.
Okay.
I forget every time how dumb that is. Every time. Now, if you love Delirious, you might like the B-side to that single. Okay. It's named. Okay. And I have to say this, so I will not get shocked. It's named Horny Toad. Horny Toad.
I've heard Horny Toad.
And they say actually that they noticed it sounds a bit similar. So imagine buying this single, Delirious, and you're like, oh, I like this. I wonder what the other side sounds like. I hope it's kind of different.
Whoa. Oh, wow.
It's the same exact song.
Yeah.
It's just like they're playing it backwards like They Might Be Giants.
It's like, well, I got this drum program to do this. Let me just rip off the B-side.
That makes me want to go play Tecmo Super Bowl. That song right there. Next up, now this one Russell, I felt so bad for you listening to this song. You probably don't even go all night like we do, like the three of us do. This is a song called Let's Pretend We're Married. Listen to these lyrics. Let's pretend we're married and go all night. Can you imagine anything more laughable, more hilarious than going all night when you're married? I mean, imagine that.
Well, you did see that one. You did see that one thing we sent over about Stevie Wonder talking about, seeing in his songs or whatever.
So him being married, that was his equivalent of the Stevie Wonder scene one. Yeah, I will say this. We have told a number of stories of us staying up super late, and I'm just going to say it right now. All of those stories were when we were away from our wives. We are staying up late when we are away. When it's wife time, we are going to bed super early.
Jokes aside,
on the off chance that we get a handy.
Jokes aside, oh my God. Once again, Prince, he could really turn a phrase. Like anytime you read things that he said, you read his interviews, you listen to his songs, he says things that no one else would have thought of. And for him to turn that, and he was young at the time. I don't think he was married. I don't even know exactly what he's going for when he says that. But he comes up with a phrase that, no one else would, like, let's pretend we're married and go all night. Nobody else would have thought of that.
Album was so good.
Are you talking about look out, listeners, you ain't as sharp as me. It ain't about the downloads, but the sexuality.
That's right. That's exactly right.
That's exactly. I will say this, Aaron, I do think sometimes what I like about Prince is that he's so subtle.
Yeah. Yeah.
Whoa.
Not saying it just to be nasty.
Aaron, you literally fucking talked. I was just going to zap Prince. You talked over the one part where he says, I want to fuck the taste out of your mouth. You were talking during that part.
We all heard it. You can edit me out. We all heard it.
Well, now I can't. I yelled at you about it. Now I feel bad.
Aaron quoted it earlier. Aaron was all over.
It's true. Now, you guys know, what's the one artist that if they do a cover song, I will always find it and play it?
They Might Be Giants.
No, are you guys serious? This is the most hurtful thing since my dentist wanted to give me Botox.
Is it the guy who sings the Monster Mash?
Oh my God! You talking about Boris Pickett Jr.? No.
Yes.
Weird Al.
I can see your screen, so I can't. I don't want to give it away.
Tina Turner.
Yes. Oh. Oh yes. She's the only one who can sing it. She's the only one who can sing it like this.
Imagine you go to a Tina Turner concert and she's covering Prince. I'd be like,
Pants
time
off. Just immediately.
Yeah.
Pants right off.
Yeah, I was going to say something dirtier, but I'm not going to due to the shocks. DMSR.
Aaron, at some point, you're going to have to comment. Before, I don't remember who it was, but you've ripped the drum machine on previous albums. And this is like the most drum machine heavy album we've listened to, right?
Yeah, it is. I was prepared for that. I knew this would come up. And I don't know that I stand by everything I've said about drum machines. I think what I didn't enjoy specifically on Alanis' album was that it was too much the same. And I don't know this. I mean, it might give away my rating. This is possibly not my favorite Prince album. It's amazing. Like when you hear people talk about what he actually did, he was really getting in and ripping apart these machines and making them do things that other people didn't know they could do. So it's incredible that he did it. It's not always my favorite sound. So I don't know if that's backpedaling enough for you, Russell, but
no, these songs are like the epitome of the 80s. Every time I hear one, I'm like, oh, I could see this being on the closing credits of every 80s movie you ever watched. It's just from a time. I will say I like almost all these songs. When someone like this song at 8 minutes, another song that's 9 minutes, it's like, did we really need the extra 7 minutes to get our point across? Or what do you guys think?
You put on this album, you sit there and grade papers maybe at work. You're feeling good, right? You're going to your class and you're telling kids, hey, if you don't want to party, don't bother knocking on my door, because it's such a great line.
There you go.
When you're walking to jiu-jitsu, listening to this album going through Times Square, it is unbelievable. This album is a major college vibe. It is a huge college vibe. You need to put this on. Everybody would think you're cool. This album
feels like it's meant
rules.
for the dance floor.
Now listen, he's going to tell us white people to clap on 4. Everybody's going to clap on 4. Here we go.
Ready?
What? We clapped at totally different times. Matt hasn't even clapped.
All right, but here's my thing about this.
No, this reminds me of the legal brothel because I got the clap at 4.
He's making a joke because funk is on the 1, and I think he's telling us the white people are late.
Yes.
And that actually gives me a thought, because I was going to do a list. I was going to do a list on Delirious, or possibly a list on Let's Pretend We're Married, but I think I'm a little bit late. But maybe I can do the list anyway. I was thinking about maybe doing a list. And here's the
a list?
Thinking about a list.
Hey, I can't wait to listen to songs we definitely know.
Here's the thing about this album. I had convinced myself that when he says, I sincerely want to fuck the taste out of your mouth, I thought he said...
Aaron, again?
I thought
you can't help yourself.
I had convinced myself
COVID.
that he said funk. I had convinced myself that he was keeping it clean and he was saying funk. And on Delirious, when he says, let me take a little ride in and out and up and down, little ride in and out and up and down around your lake, I thought he said leg. So what I wanted to talk about is misheard lyrics. This is a common problem we've all had. I want to talk about misheard lyrics. Some of these are from my own personal life. Some of these are famous stories. So I want to talk about misheard lyrics. I want to start with one of the most famous, which is the Beatles' I Want to Hold Your Hand, where Dylan thought they were saying I Get High. But because it's my list, I get to play my favorite version of the song, which is Al Green's cover of I Want to Hold Your Hand.
You scared me so bad, I thought I downloaded the wrong thing.
And Al just full on says, I get high. And the lyric is, I can't hide.
Oh.
But Al took it there.
The Reverend.
Yes.
Al Green.
Here it comes.
Quotes on the green.
Woo. So, one of the great stories in rock and roll, I don't know if it's true or not, but I think Dylan is the one who said to John Lennon, like, I can't believe you wrote that lyric, I get high. And John was like, oh no, it was I can't hide. But Al Green just went in and took it there. Next song. When we first moved to the Bay Area, there was a throwback hip hop station. So if you want to feel old, listen to throwback hip hop, because it's all the stuff that was popular with you in high school. Mm-hmm. But this particular song is about a baller and a shot caller. And my lady had never heard the song. And so she was like, what? I can't believe they're talking about shock collars. Why would he be talking about a shock collar? So this Lil Troy want to be a baller.
Oh, well, I don't think this helps, right? When they play this during the song. I got to that so fast. I'm so proud of myself. Okay. I'm going to edit this so it sounds really good. Don't forget to edit it. Future Rob, don't forget it. She's never heard this song?
She hadn't heard it. That was the other issue. Was like,
did your wife live in a cave somewhere?
The song was brand new to her, and then she was like, why is he talking about a shock collar?
I wonder if Aaron's wife at gmail.com is on a different podcast talking about how Aaron's never heard Miley Cyrus or whatever.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, that's the obvious one. But this one's a great song. Either way.
Imagine, wouldn't you'd go through life and when people said, oh, I'm a baller, a shot caller, you would have no idea what they're talking about, right? Like, that comes up all the time. I think when I was younger, I was always saying baller and shot caller.
But you just assume that like a shot collar is like some kind of slang you don't know about. You just like,
no, Aaron, if your wife wanted you to put a shot collar on her, okay,
this is
just for a day,
good.
Okay,
Rob buzz yourself with a shot collar right now.
Ooh, yeah. Aaron, I turned on the microwave. Aaron, I bought plastic Ziploc bags. Imagine, you've been bad, Aaron's wife at gmail.com. Aaron, I didn't crash the car today.
Rob does have a point, though. I went on a date once with a lady. This was a couple years ago, and she was an opera singer, Aaron.
Okay.
And she had no interest and no knowledge of any pop music whatsoever. So no rock, no pop, no nothing. The only thing she knew was opera and classical music. So I was like, you have to have like some favorite band, something. And there was nothing.
Can you imagine how boring her parents are if they just got her into,
And so, but think about it, like they must go through life and people must say lines all the time and they have no idea what it's from, right?
Yeah. Oh, and their life's probably better for it.
How boring the parents are. Hey, can we watch MTV?
What's the next song on the list here? I sidetracked you.
Next song, I may have actually played this song at some point, but it's one of my all-time favorites, and it's a song from my youth. It was on the Pretty Woman soundtrack, and my little brother thought that the gentleman was saying, I don't need to fart at your feet. And this is Go West with King of Wishful Thinking.
'Cause I'm the king of wishful thinking. I get over you.
Yeah,
I know I will.
Great song. Great song. Also,
great soundtrack.
Great soundtrack. This video also absolutely incredible, worth a watch. This one and the Little Troy video both like
you guys are
worth just checking out.
You guys are talking over the lyrics that we're pointing out are misheard every time.
Aaron, repeat the misheard lyrics and then do it again, Rob.
The misheard lyric was, I don't mean to fart at your feet.
Please.
Oh,
begging you.
Which was what my brother thought it was when he was a youngster. All right.
Why do they call him little? To fart at your feet?
Yeah, my brother thought he said, I don't need to fart at your feet.
So he's got a foot obsession as well.
Yeah, well, I don't know. I guess. So, Rob, do you want to do it? Do you want to play the real lyric first and then want me to talk about the misheard lyric, or do you want to hear the misheard lyric first?
No, I like your story first, and then I like straining to hear the lyrics over your guys' talking.
Next song, one of my favorite Christmas songs, Fairy Tale of New York, which, as you may or may not know, starts with the line, it was Christmas Eve, babe, in the drunk tank. And last year at Christmas, we had listened to this a whole bunch of times, and my son said to me, I do not want to spend Christmas Eve in a dunk tank.
A dunk tank?
A dunk tank. He did not want to spend Christmas Eve in the dunk tank. So this is the Pogues with Fairy Tale of New York.
There was Christmas Eve, babe, in the drunk tank.
I'm calling CPS on you, Aaron, I think.
He doesn't want to be in the dunk tank.
He didn't want to be in the dunk tank.
Your kid's at home eating chicken jerky and listening to this song? That's
not want to be in the dunk tank for Christmas
Aaron,
Eve.
would you rather share food with a stranger at a table or get into a dunk tank like at a circus?
Well, I'd probably share the food. The dunk tank sounds kind of terrible. I'd go with the sharing.
I've been in a dunk. You guys haven't been in a dunk tank?
I've never done
Isn't like every teacher ever?
Every teacher ever has been in the dunk tank. It is great. And I did the thing where I'd yell at them. Like, you can't hit that with the ball. Ooh, I always do. You're bad at everything. Just like in my class, you get an F. You're yelling stuff like that. And they're trying to hit it with the ball.
Has anyone on a dunk tank ever gotten up and walked away? Like, scot-free, or do people always come up and hit it with their hand if they can't hit it?
Oh, they always come up and hit with the hand. Those cheaters, those little cheating students. They're so bad.
The last one I didn't send, but I did hear, I talked to some of my sources about what are some great misheard lyrics. This is a bonus track. And apparently the blues song, the misheard lyrics are, I'm blue, if I was green, I would die. If I was green, I would die. So we obviously...
Let's hear it.
We had to...
Die if I was green, I would die. If I was green, I would die. Yes.
So I had to play the bonus track.
Yes, that is perfect. If I was green, I would die.
Right. And that's it. That's truly it. That's my list for tonight. So misheard lyrics.
Aaron said, hey, you got to make sure that you have blue on the thing. And I was like, oh, I know I deleted that. I deleted it, so I better re-download it. I did not delete it. I still had it on there. Holding out hope.
Nailed it.
65 blue comes through again.
Nailed it. That's
one of the oldest sound clips we have. Aaron, that was easily a top 5 list. That was a great job.
Thank you guys. Thanks for indulging me.
All right.
If you may.
If I may.
I am trying to work out a joke where Michael Jordan is driving an M1 Abrams in the Ukraine, and it's something about dunk tank, but I can't figure out what it is. So if you guys got any notes on that, call the Beck line, 802-277-BECK, 802-277-BECK. Automatic. Now, guys, I don't want to get back into the car thing, but...
BECK did it better.
Let me tell you, it's automatic. This is the Wikipedia description. Automatic is how Prince describes the passion for his crush. The song gets gradually more desperate, as highlighted in the 5th verse, where he states he feels he's the only one good enough for the object of his infatuation. It also gradually gets increasingly sexual as Prince dives deeper into his feelings. I don't know why I read that. That's getting edited out, so sorry about that.
You're talking over the song,
It does go pretty deep. It's 9.5 minutes long.
It's
9.5 weeks.
I'll tell you what, my wife rented a car in Hawaii. So my kids are just sending me videos of my wife driving. That's all they are. They're videos of them laughing at my wife driving because they don't think she can drive. And you know what I realized about the car she was driving? It was a stick shift. She was driving a stick shift. And that was I saw it and I was like, this is so erotic. Seeing my wife drive a stick shift was hot as hell. I'm telling you guys.
Matt, what do you think of this? So you've talked a few weeks ago how you were kind of into like the 80s synth pop. But I spent some time wondering, I don't know if Matt would love this album or hate it. I was curious what your thoughts were.
To be completely honest, I didn't even come close to listening to this album. So too much. But I like this album. Again, I think Prince has a more funky / poppy synth sound to him than kind of like that. I think the complete opposite is where the shoegaze people went with just drawn out, nothing sound basically. And so I think he's the antithesis of that. And so I like it. I like it a lot. Again, I think I have such a distaste for the song Purple Rain, that album will always have, I would put this album above that, but if I'm really thinking about it, I still think Purple Rain's probably better than this one. But I like this album.
Something in the water. This is the one I wanted to read. His lovers mistreat him and reject him. He feels like he's reasonably attractive and interesting, so the cruel treatment he receives does not compute. Must be something in the water because the women are not attracted to him.
This was probably my least favorite song on the album, but there are parts where, I don't know if we've talked a lot about Prince's vocals before. I feel like there's not as much like amazing Prince vocals on this one, Aaron. What do you think?
Yeah, he doesn't really emote quite as much as on some of the other records we've heard. I like it. It does feel at times that he's trying to be more part of the music with his voice than have his voice be front and center. Although I will say this song has my favorite line. Some people tell me I have nice legs, can't figure out why you make me beg. But I don't think he's really letting go with his voice on. Free, I think he does. I think Free sounds great. I think parts of International Lover he does. But otherwise, I think he's holding back and it's kind of in the mix more.
Yeah.
I love to think about Prince being like me at a middle school dance. Like, what? Nobody wants to dance with me? This just doesn't compute. He's like depressed. It's like, yeah, right. That guy was getting crazy.
I love this song. I fucking love this song.
The piano, or what sticks out for you about it?
The piano, it's the fragility and the vulnerability of his voice. It's the message, just everything. I love it.
Plus, it reminds him of that book he wants.
Yeah, that's
Free.
I think my thing with some of this album is that so many of the songs here in the second half, I think, are like spiritual predecessors to other songs of his that I think refined the concept. Like I think Free led to Purple Rain. I think, Matt's disagreements aside, I think Purple Rain takes Free to another level. I think International Lover sort of led into Adore, which I think is more sincere. So I think he's still like figuring himself out.
Do you mean International Ed Lubber?
International Ed Lubber.
Mr. Lover.
Imagine
Mr.
sitting
Lover.
next to Dr. Dre on a plane. That guy was huge. What a bummer. Talk about an all-time bad sit. Listen, this guy loves talking about cars. Lady cab driver, as according to Wikipedia, the song is about Prince having intercourse with a female cab driver. I switched on this song so fast after I read that.
Yeah.
This is such a groove. This is fantastic.
Yes. There's some good fills on this one, too. Yeah, the bass is great on here.
Have you guys ever had an Uber driver that you wanted to have sex with? I have never. Not once.
God, no.
Anybody?
No.
All the critics love you in New York.
This is such a deliciously weird song, right? Like, it just sometimes feels like he's just like, well, what sounds can I make this thing make now? Like, oh, it's kind of whistly, but it's kind of like strings.
How long is this album? It's like 48 minutes.
I have a story about that. This album is exactly as long as Takeoff to Touchdown from Oakland to Las Vegas. And we landed in Las Vegas as International. I landed in Las Vegas as International Lover was playing. It was a magical moment. And
so
then I went
good.
and hugged Rob. It was so perfect.
Well, for Prince on this song, it was time for a new direction. It was time for jazz to die.
Uh-oh.
But we, on this song, need a purple high. And the way I'm getting my purple high tonight is going to the book, Booze and Vinyl.
Yeah, Purple High.
And I think this was it. The Booze and Vinyl suggests this drink for Purple Rain. I don't think we ever discussed this drink on Purple Rain, so I'm drinking it tonight. Tonight I'm having an Aviation. Have you guys ever had an Aviation before?
No, it looks nice.
I think I have. It's got 76 in it, right? Or whatever that is.
An Aviation has gin, maraschino liqueur.
Oh, no. No.
creme de violet.
Maybe he has that. Yeah, right.
Fresh lemon juice.
No.
Simple syrup. And a lemon twist.
I don't think he has a lemon twist
heads.
even. 7-Up. I'm going to guess cherry 7-Up. And he's like, this is pretty close. And gin.
You know what? In weeks past, months past, I might not have had all these things. But now that I've gone to bartending school, I went and got everything I needed for this.
Oh, the whole thing?
I had everything for the drink except the maraschino liqueur. I still went with just the cherry juice from the jar. But it's a fantastic drink. You guys got to check it out.
Mai Tai lesson not learned.
Rob, you might actually be able to comment on this. They actually, because you went to Drag Brunch last weekend. They actually recommend Prince's albums when you're going to a cross-dressing party. They say, raid the closet of your best friend of the opposite sex, then kick off your inhibitions and have a hell of a lot of fun.
I would love to wear women's underwear. Oh my God. Can you imagine how great that would be? I look at women's underwear and I'm like, why can't guys' underwear be like that? It's silky. It's soft.
It can, Rob.
Well, I'll tell you what, the underwear my wife wears now is a lot like my underwear that I showed you the other day. It's like that kind. It's like, are those boxers? I think she's wearing boxers. They're big.
We can probably just delete that.
I got to put an edit point in.
That was my fault.
They're big.
They're big.
Listen, all I know is I had to escape the apartment the other day. I jumped out with them over my head, landed safely.
I do have a question, though, now that I'm a professional bartender. So I have this bottle of creme de violet that I bought the first time I tried this drink, but any drink only calls for like a teaspoon of it. So I have this huge bottle and I've had 3 drinks out of it in like a year and a half, and it's still like 98% full. What do I do with it?
I think just drink it. Just start drinking it on ice. Just start pouring a creme de violet on ice every night until it's gone.
All right.
So classy and definitely not the sign of a problem. Next up, International Lover is one of the earliest examples of Prince performing a song for a lover who's the subject of the song. The song's lyrics are seductive. By the way, they have citations for this, and considered to be metaphorical, with sex being compared to air travel and Prince serving as your captain.
serving. He'll drop down and apply more pressure.
This guy loves vehicles and sex. It's one of his favorite things. And yet, no mentions of a train going through a tunnel. A huge miss by Prince on this album. I think we can all agree a train going through a tunnel would be the perfect way to end this album. Not getting a lot of reaction from my co-hosts.
Well,
I got like an hour and a half of sleep last night.
I'm listening to you and listening to the song. I think what's missing from this song is the sincerity that he eventually adopts in Adore. This is still like tongue-in-cheek, wink-wink, kind of, humorous, which is fine. I think that's fun too, but it's hard to take it seriously.
Well, I will say, I don't know if you guys heard about this, but did you know that, speaking of sex on planes, okay, I don't know if you guys heard this, maybe you read this. Did you know that Wilbur and Orville, right? And again, to say it again, only Wilbur would be happy because it's like, hey, my name's totally normal. Wilbur's the only Wilbur who's like, I think I have this totally normal name. Not like my brother. Orville, a name so weird you only hear it twice, and it's with planes and popcorns. What is it with Orville? You don't hear a lot about the other Orvilles out there. Orville's call in 802-277 Beck.
Planes and popcorn.
When's the sex part?
Oh, yeah.
We were talking about sex on planes.
Orville had sex on their plane, on the Wright Brothers plane. A lot of people don't know that, yeah.
No.
Yeah, he let me just find this song to play. He joined the 36-foot high club. When I got done, we called it Titty Hawk.
Oh, no. Jesus God.
Don't ruin that with another joke, Rob. You want to try one so bad, but don't do it. You're stronger than this. Okay? The show is going to end. Just looked at the time. Listen, okay? This is a long episode, okay? For Prince and me being clean, very long.
It. So did Prince.
Is this album at 130? Guys, we're all the way up to 130. We broke off another tenor. At 130, okay? Is this album rolling, well-toned? That means it's perfect at 130. It is great. Now, if the album should be more like at the place of Matt winning money, and of course he won $500 in Vegas, this would be, if it should be at 500, we think that this got rolling. This is a rolling groan. It should be much lower on the list, which of course is a higher number, such as $500 is higher than 130. So that would be a rolling groan. Or should this have been way higher? Okay. Should this have been the best Prince album on this list? And therefore this would be a rolling boned. It got rolling boned. Rolling well-toned, rolling boned, or rolling groan, 1982's 1999. Aaron, what do you think?
I'm having a hard time with this one. You guys know I love Prince. I love almost all of his catalog. I love this album. It is, I said a couple weeks ago, everything's rolling grown until we hear Dookie. I wonder if maybe this is too much Prince before we've heard from some other artists, Otis Redding, Sam Cooke, Madonna, Whitney Houston, Mariah Carey. Important people. Green Day. But all that said, Pearl Jam. It's tough. It's tough for me, but I cannot
Dr.
give
Teeth.
Dr. Teeth. All these people. I cannot give Prince a rolling groan just on principle. So I'm going to call it rolling well-toned.
Russell, what do you think? Rolling well-toned, rolling bone, or rolling groan?
I don't even think there's a real question here. There are commercial hits all over this. There's super fun songs all over this. I would listen to this over and over again. The hell if you get through these first three songs on this, and this shouldn't be way higher in the list. So I'm going to say it's rolling boned. I think it should be way higher on the list. I personally enjoyed this one more than Sign of the Pickup Lines. And I actually originally,
I did too,
I think going back, the Purple Rain was in my top 5. And I started thinking, wait, do I like this more than Purple Rain? And despite Matt's feelings on the song Purple Rain, I couldn't put it above the Purple Rain album. But for me, I think this should be above the last Prince album we did. I think it's rolling boned. It should be higher on the list.
Matt, what do you think? Rolling well-toned, rolling bone, or rolling groan? I had forgotten we'd even done Sign of the Times. Oh my God.
Yeah,
I forgot
I was just going to say, we probably should have.
Times is way up there, like top 50.
45. So I was just going to say, we had 8. We had Purple Rain at 8, and Sign of the Times, Sign O the Times at 45. And so this is the third. Prince album we've had in the top 130 here. So I'm going to say it's Rolling Well Toned. I got to Russell's point. The first 3 songs are unbelievable. Those make the album for me. To Rosie's point, I think it starts to drag a little bit. I think it's a little, we start talking about computers and you have computer tones and stuff pinging. It starts to get a little hokey. But again, then it's Prince. And so then you think about when this was made and how it was made. And I think he was obviously extremely influential in what came after this. So I'm just going to say 130 Prince, Rolling Well Toned.
All right. Unfortunately, all of you guys are incorrect.
No.
Okay. This album is a rolling home sweet home. As a Minnesotan, I have to say it is my duty. It is my honor. I have to tell you that any Prince album should be way higher. This should be all the way up to number 1. This has jams. This has beats. You find me an album with 3 better songs that you want to listen to in a row. You cannot do it. You can't do it. Next up is an album, and I want to remind you, I wrote this on a plane. This is an album about a rim shot. And I gotta think about this.
Doug?
No, it's
the dog from Doug?
No, Rimshot. It's Dummy by Portishead. A little slow on it.
That's actually that's clever. That's very clever.
Thank you.
I gotta tip my cap.
I don't even need to listen to this album, and now I already know that whatever it is has no business being anywhere near this Prince album, right?
Naval salute on that one, Rob.
Don't worry, nobody's going to listen to our Portis album anyway.
Beck did it better.
Hey, Rob, I think you know what the real worst part of going to the legal brothel is?
What's that?
Is going and asking for the botox service, and then when she's down there doing her thing, saying, "Sorry, I didn't mean to fart at your feet."
It's time to say,
wow.
I guess you got to be careful about your diet pre-brothel.
At a legal brothel, of course.
Yeah, wait, somebody. About what you have.
I hear something. Just wait.
Sorry.
Wait, who is this? Who is this?
Hey, it's me. It's Dr. Teeth.
Dr. Teeth.
I want to party.
Dr. Teeth.
I want to party, so I'm knocking at your door.
Don't
By the way,
Dr.
I am here. I took a class this weekend, so if you want me to do some Botox, I can absolutely do that.
Again, if you want Rob to do impressions for you, $5 an hour. $5 an hour. Wait, no, that's so cheap. Rob, no!
Rimshot was Ernest's dog.
Ernest.
Yeah,
hey,
Ernest
Vern.
Stupid.
You pulled Ernest's dog's name on the podcast. One of the most unbelievable pulls.
Not a mean Vern.